Water shortages out west, a proposal to tap a Minnesota aquifer for a bottled water plant. Headlines recently making us wonder, how much water does our state really have?
How much do we use, and are we in danger of running out? Tonight, Chris Harapsky goes looking for answers in his series, Water Wars.
Water. It's more than a moniker in Minnesota. It's a way of life. We are officially the land of 11,842 lakes. We have 201 mud lakes, 154 long lakes, 123 rice lakes. Ohio has 110 total lakes. There's about an acre of water for every 20 acres of land here, with more coastline than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined.
We have a lot of water.
Yeah, there is.
But that doesn't mean we have excess water.
Wait, what'd she say? We're the land of 10,000 lakes.
I think among some folks in Minnesota, there is a mindset that we have plenty of water.
To explore what she means, I proposed two seemingly simple questions. How much water do we actually have in Minnesota? And how much do we actually use? The answers are surprising. We know there's a lot of surface water. As mentioned, about 6% of the entire state is covered with rivers and lakes and wetlands. But that's not what most of us use. In fact, 75% of the drinking water and 90% of irrigation water comes from aquifers under the ground. The DNR says we drink, wash, water, and flush about 315 billion gallons of groundwater a year in Minnesota. That's like 500,000 Olympic swimming pools, or 2.5 Lake Minnetonkas. But to know if our water use is sustainable, we have to know how much water we have down there to draw from.
How much usable groundwater do we have?
I don't know if anybody's answered that question yet.
Ellen Considine is a hydrologist supervisor with the DNR. She says we have a good idea how much is down there, but certainly no perfect picture.
I like to think of glaciers as drunk bulldozers, like going back and forth over the landscape, and they deposited our aquifers in very unpredictable ways and unpredictable patterns, and then they put a bunch of dirt on top of it so we can't see them.
These are our observation wells.
Our best tools for monitoring groundwater are wells.
We know how much we're pumping. This is where we can kind of measure and see what the effect is.
At this site in White Bear Lake, the DNR has 4 wells, each drilled to a different depth to monitor the 4 layered aquifers beneath most of the metro. Is there concern about future use, population growth, and the use of these aquifers?
Yeah, I'd say that concern is always there.
This water planning report from the Metropolitan Council shows that we are drawing more water from certain areas in the metro faster than they can fill back up. The yellow dots show wells over time where the water table is falling year over year. Dakota County draws the most groundwater per capita of any county in the metro. The Met Council projects that by 2040, periods of drought are, quote, highly likely to result in local shortages, end quote, with some cities in the county seeing a 50% depletion of aquifer water.
If we use water the same way now, in the future, we're going to put additional stress on those aquifers. So we were trying to highlight areas where we want to pay attention going into the future.
This does not spell doom across the state. Far from it. Experts say we could safely pump even more water in many parts of the metro. But it does spell caution. Take a look at this map. All the green marks signify where water levels are going up across the state. And due to the difference in geology and aquifers across the state, the blue marks are areas where groundwater is trending down.
So in the metro, we're so lucky. We have generally pretty plentiful aquifers. Like, we should be responsible with them, but they're pretty plentiful. Western Minnesota, the Arrowhead in the northeast, very, very limited aquifers. Like, there's just a lot less groundwater available.
An example of what can go wrong that didn't make the news happened 2 summers ago in Warren, Minnesota.
We were worried that the city of Warren was going to run out of water.
During the drought year of 2021, agricultural irrigation quadrupled in the Warren area. The extra usage plummeted the aquifer's water level, dropping some 70 feet in one summer season, down to a record low. This triggered the DNR to immediately suspend irrigation permits in the area.
Irrigators were pumping a lot of water. Understandably, they had permits. They needed to keep their crops alive. But as we looked at the data, we realized that if we at the DNR didn't intervene pretty quickly, there was a risk that the city of Warren would run out of water.
What does all this information mean? We asked the DNR's state climatologist to summarize.
I think perhaps the biggest change will be the perception that Minnesota's water supply is a bottomless pit. And I think people are starting to realize that there is a finite amount of water here in Minnesota.
Even in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Even in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Just fascinating.
And a fascinating series. Go to KARE11.com, Weather Wars, or our YouTube page to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, Water
Water
Wars.
Wars.
Water Wars. No Weather Wars. We're going to just
No,
stay.
no.
No, we're not going to fight. We're not going to do it.